Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today is just a quick update. So the eagle-eyed amongst you might have actually spotted on one of my videos that I did actually leave some comments, and that was relating to the Monolith 15-inch V2 subwoofer. So unfortunately, I have had a similar issue to a lot of other people out there with a failing amp. Now, mine hasn't gone completely. So what mine does is maybe about, say, I don't know, anywhere between, say, 20 minutes and up to maybe an hour and a half, you get the flashing red and green light on the back and the sub cuts out. Mine, I can actually get mine to work again just by turning it off. The amplifier actually takes a little while to fully power down. The light on the back will keep flashing red and green until it fully powers down. And then once it completely shut off, if I then switch it back on, then it will power back up again. But there's no guarantee in terms of how long it'll last before it cuts out again. Because I've been observing Ramadan, I've not really used this setup for a whole month. And every now and then I did used to come in here and I used to spot the red light shining against the wall. Now, I assumed that was because I've left it in always on and it was just not detecting a signal. However, when it's not detecting a signal, that light should be solid red. Like I say, because I haven't been using it, I just didn't pay any attention to it. We did go to watch a movie and I noticed during the action scenes that, yeah, there should be bass here. And then I looked at the sub and realized that, yes, cut out. I have already contacted Monoprice and they've already issued me a replacement. So that's one good thing in terms of just how they're handling it. So obviously there's a lot of manufacturers. It's well documented on the channel, the issues that I had with LG regarding the soundbar replacement or return that I actually ended up doing for a faulty subwoofer. Ironically, it was a faulty subwoofer on that occasion as well. But the way they handle the situation in comparison to Monoprice is vastly different. Right now, Monoprice aren't based in Europe, so they're only based in America. So I'm not sure where they're actually sending this subwoofer out from, but essentially you're talking something that is getting cargo to me, and yet there wasn't really any questions asked. So what I did was I initially emailed them with the issue, and then the following day I realized that just to speed things up, I better forward the receipt. So I sent them the receipt for the actual subwoofer. Straight away, the first reply I got back was basically just confirming that they can't replace just the amplifier because they don't have spare parts, but they can issue me a brand new subwoofer. So that's what they've done. Once the new subwoofer comes, I'll use the packaging in order to send this one back. So I don't get to keep this one. This one does have to go back. And I'm guessing they may do some sort of repair process on it and sell it as used, or I don't know, do whatever they want with it. But yeah, I will have to return this. But once again, they will be covering everything. So none of this is coming out of my pocket. So in terms of how they're handling the situation, it's obviously very, very positive. What we'll do is I'll keep you updated in terms of how the process is going, as and when I get any updates. So the time frame I've been given is 2 weeks. Now, we do have 2 bank holidays in between then, and obviously because this is getting imported into the UK and because of Brexit, I remember when I first got this sub imported in, which was also after Brexit, and it was a nightmare because there's a lot of forms and everything that you have to fill out. So I'm predicting maybe around about a 3-week turnaround for the new sub to arrive. And then obviously whenever I send this back is just dependent on how quickly I can get the new one set up, get that package back up, and then they can arrange for a courier. It is disappointing. Obviously, quite a few people did comment on my videos inquiring about the same thing. One of the commenters, one of the subscribers to the channel, did actually comment with exactly the same issue. So they've had a failed sub. They also had a replacement sent out. Now, that user was based in the States, in America, so it was a bit easier for them probably. For me, obviously, it's going to be a lot lengthier process, but also a more awkward one in terms of importing it as well. It would have been a lot easier had they still been based in Europe. Even this way, it's still going to be awkward, but I think that way would have probably sped it up just a little, because I think, if I remember correctly, when they previously sent it out, I think it was only around about a week turnaround. So I don't know whether they're sending it from European stock that they still got lying around somewhere. But yeah, 2 weeks is still doable. In terms of the rest of the system, I will be doing some further videos. Obviously, like I say, because of Ramadan, I did kind of put everything on hold. I will be doing some updated videos in terms of my thoughts, just in terms of how the setup, how the system and everything is performing, and also my thoughts on future tech, so future ultra short throws, what to be aware of, certain things to watch out for, if you're bothered about audio at all. So a lot of the newer ultra short throws that are being brought out are almost referred to as super ultra short throws, like the Epson, where it's got a super ultra short throw ratio. So one of the problems with that is obviously how you go about setting up your audio, and that's something that I'll discuss in another video. Another thing that I was also looking at, besides obviously the fact that this has failed on me, but I have been looking into the new Klipsch subwoofers, in particular their new the Reference Premier 1600, which is a 16-inch woofer, so obviously an inch bigger than the Monolith, but it's got almost identical sort of specs. So it hits down to, on the actual paperwork, I think it's down to 14 hertz, and with in-room performance, I'm pretty sure that might actually be dipping down into possibly the similar sort of 10 hertz or below, similar to what you actually get with the Monolith. The fact that this does hit so deep, it's one of those things where there's very few subwoofers out there of this sort of size. I mean, anything, if you want to dip below 10 hertz, you're going to have to be going much bigger woofer size. You're going to have to go to at least 18, if not 21 or bigger. And obviously with my setup, especially with the front soundstage, that's one thing that would be an issue if the subwoofer was so big that I can't actually get it below where the speaker levels are at the moment. So I will have more videos coming, and like I say, I'll keep you updated in terms of the Monolith. As I say, with my channel, I don't hide anything. So if a product's good, I will say it's good. If a product's bad, I will say it's bad. And obviously I'll give you my honest opinions in terms of me as a consumer, or you as a consumer. If obviously these products, if people are asking me about them, then I'm going to give you my honest opinion in terms of what I think, how they're performing, and whether it is worth the money. Now, bang for buck, the Monolith is still obviously that clipped subwoofer aside. I don't really know of anything else out there that can actually do what this Monolith does. So that's why it is doubly disappointing, the fact that they are having issues. And unfortunately, it's not something that's new. Apparently, they did also have that with version 1, and obviously it's a similar thing with their version 2. Now, they do obviously have the new line of the 13 and the 16, I think it was different sizes for the newer versions. Unfortunately, I just can't get hold of any of those to even put them to the test. But yeah, maybe they're different. I know they had more power, but it's the reliability that it comes down to. The Klipsch, the reason I'm interested in them is because the actual manufacturers, the designers, the people in charge of actually producing it, did make a very big point on quite a lot of their sort of podcasts that they've been a part of, just emphasizing that they are aware of a sort of bad reputation with the amplifiers on their previous subwoofers, and as long as a manufacturer acknowledges it and tries to do something about it, then that's for me is positive, and that's where I'm hoping that if they have, then potentially that could be an alternative. Now, the one sort of issue is with this, obviously it's a very tall sub, and I've got it laid on the side. The Klipsch sub is more square, so unfortunately it would, as my current setup is, it would cut into the actual speakers, maybe up to about there. Now, the thing I could potentially do with that, if I was to go for the Klipsch further down the line, would be to actually have two as the front soundstage, and rather than having the side speakers wall mounted, just simply drop them on top of the subwoofers. And then I could actually just angle them in slightly as well, and then just leave the center channel mounted on the wall. So that's something that potentially I could look into. But yeah, the size and the shape of those particular box, the enclosures, is slightly different. So obviously that's something that, as and when I can get one in for testing, that's something that I can take a look at and obviously give you guys my opinion on. I will also have some updated videos on the Valencia seats as well. Once again, I'm going to be brutally honest about these. I have had some accessories sent out, so I will have a few videos just detailing what accessories they've actually sent out to me, and giving my honest opinion on those as well. So as always, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos. And I'd really appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up. And until the next one, thanks very much for watching.